Chapter 9. And the fifth angel sounded, and I saw a star fall from heaven unto the earth, and to him was given the key of the bottomless pit. And he opened the bottomless pit, and there arose a smoke out of the pit as the smoke of a great furnace. And the sun and the air were darkened by reason of the smoke of the pit. And there came out of the smoke locusts upon the earth, and unto them was given power, as the scorpions of the earth have power. And it was commanded them that they should not hurt the grass of the earth, neither any green thing, nor any tree, but only those men which have not the seal of God in their foreheads. And to them it was given that they should not kill them, but that they should be tormented 5 months. And their torment was as the torment of a scorpion when he striketh a man. And in those days shall men seek death, and shall not find it, and shall desire to die, and death shall flee from them. And the shapes of the locusts were like unto horses prepared unto battle. And on their heads were as it were crowns of gold, and their faces were as the faces of men. And they had hair as the hair of women, and their teeth were as the teeth of lions. And they had breastplates as it were breastplates of iron, and the sound of their wings was as the sound of chariots of many horses running to battle. And they had tails like unto scorpions, and there were stings in their tails, and their power was to hurt men 5 months. And they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in the Hebrew tongue is Abaddon, but in the Greek tongue hath his name Apollyon. One woe is past, and behold, there come 2 woes more hereafter. And the sixth angel sounded, and I heard a voice from the 4 horns of the golden altar which is before God, saying to the sixth angel which had the trumpet, Loose the 4 angels which are bound in the great river Euphrates. And the 4 angels were loosed, which were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year, for to slay the 3rd part of men. And the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000. And I heard the number of them. And thus I saw the horses in the vision, and them that sat on them, having breastplates of fire, and of jacinth and brimstone, and the heads of the horses were as the heads of lions, and out of their mouths issued fire and smoke and brimstone. By these 3 was the 3rd part of men killed, by the fire and by the smoke and by the brimstone which issued out of their mouths. For their power is in their mouth and in their tails, for their tails were like unto serpents, and had heads, and with them they do hurt. And the rest of the men which were not killed by these plagues yet repented not of the works of their hands, that they should not worship devils, and idols of gold, and silver, and brass, and stone, and of wood, which neither can see, nor hear, nor walk. Neither repented they of their murders, nor of their sorceries, nor of their fornication, nor of their thefts. Chapter 9. The fifth angel sounds. I saw a star, the individual, fall from heaven unto the earth, and to him was given the key of the bottomless pit. And he opened the bottomless pit, and there rose a smoke out of the pit, and the smoke of as the smoke of a great furnace, and the sun and the air were darkened by reason of the smoke of the pit. And it says, And there came out of the smoke locusts upon the earth, and unto them was given power, as the scorpions of the earth have power. Now, from that's an introduction to verses 4 through 10, which is describes a time of great warfare against all men, except those who have been sealed up by the angels. For those individuals and their families will be preserved. There will be so many plagues and suffering that the morally corrupt and unrighteous men, they will want to die rather than keeping on living. Now it says, going on from verse 3 to verse 4, And it was commanded them that they should not hurt the grass on the earth, neither any green thing, nor are there any trees, but only those men which have not the seal of God on their foreheads. That means the unrighteous. If you do not have the seal of God upon you, if you are not righteous, worthy, not a king and a priest, have not been living righteously, okay, no protection. Now, here's an interesting verse 7. It says, And the shapes of the locusts were like unto horses prepared unto battle, and on their heads were as it were crowns of gold, and their faces were as the faces of men. This is really strange imagery for us. Other prophets have had similar problems trying to describe what they saw. The biggest point of the message here, however, is not what they describe, but the fact that the end, the victory of the Savior is known from the beginning. You want to see another prophet who tried to do some descriptions of this, take a look at Joel chapter 2, verses 1 to 11. Enormous difficulties trying to describe what they saw. Okay? Don't make more out of this than you need to, or to try to, because just concentrate on being worthy, and then you don't have to worry about any of that. Verse 11, and they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in the Hebrew tongue is Abaddon, but in the Greek tongue is Apollyon. Now, the Hebrew and the Greek names are both for the words destroy and destruction, which would be appropriate names for Satan. But they also could be called perdition, which also means total loss, and perdition is used later on. Verse 13, and the sixth angel sounded, and I heard a voice from the four horns of the golden altar which is before God, saying to the sixth angel, which had the trumpet, loose the four angels which are bound in the great river Euphrates. And the four angels were loose, verse 15, which prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year, and we have no idea what those times mean, for to slay the third part of men. These would have been the wicked, unrepentant, the people who are unwilling to do anything to improve their lives at all. And these numbers and these images and all the rest of it, if the Lord does not give a meaning for the imagery, then basically we are in the same situation as those people that the Savior told parables to, but that didn't have the key to understanding the parable. They're not responsible. So if the Lord withholds the meaning of it, you are not responsible for understanding it. If you concentrate on living righteously and being as Christ-like as you possibly can be, then all of these things will be happening around you. But by and large, they will not be happening to you. Verse 20, very interesting. And the rest of the men which were not killed by these plagues, yet repented not of the works of their hands, that they should not worship devils and the idols of gold and silver and brass and stone and wood, which neither can see nor hear nor walk. Imagine having all of that, seen all of that, and you still have such a deadness to your spirit that you are unwilling. Verse 21, neither repented they of their murderers, nor of their sorceries, nor of their fornications, nor of their theft. These are the people that this kind of thing is going to happen to, that are going to experience all these horrors. Well, if you're Christ-like, you don't have to worry about these things happening to you.